$73.01. Over the course of what would be 5 weeks now, his stock has profited him $570. It's just one stock.
You lucky dog.
That's just one stock.
I just lost.
That's just one. So how are your other stocks doing?
Every one except for this one is down. Otherwise, I should be up.
So overall, are you up then
Yeah.
because of that one stock?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody have a stock that's netted them more than $570 so far? Just one? So Jacob, you got the one big winner. That's just on one stock.
Oh yeah, and then on 2 others I have like 150.
Does anybody have a stock that's really taking a major hit right now?
Yes.
Morgan's, yeah, I got one of those. Morgan, what's your share? What's your stock? Okay. So you bought it at $34.05. It's now at $31.97. So you're down to $100 just on that one. Okay.
I invested in Best Buy.
Ah.
I've lost $586.
You lost $586 in one stock.
Yes.
Anybody? Has anybody followed news on Best Buy over the last couple of years?
What's been happening?
What has been happening to Best Buy? Anybody know? No. Best Buy's got some competition. Who's their big competitor?
Walmart.
No.
Walmart. You said
I would guess.
Not Walmart.
Alright, wait. Is it online?
It is.
Amazon.
Amazon. If you have invested in companies like Best Buy, especially electronic companies, they call them brick and mortar stores. A brick and mortar store, I mean, it's the physical store itself. And Best Buy, though they have an online site for themselves, they are now competing heavily against Amazon.
Does Amazon have like an actual like location?
Store? No. They only their warehouses to ship their product, but they don't have there's no Amazon store. You're not gonna we can walk into Best Buy over by the Kennedy Mall. There isn't an Amazon store you can go to.
It's probably more efficient.
Online shipping and online purchasing is really, really hurt Best Buy. So they have been kind of teetering along here. My guess is that stock is probably not going to go back up before the end of the year.
I thought it was gonna be like because maybe like the Samsung or something like iPhones would come on like it boosted up because they're like
Might help them in the short term, but their big competition right now is, and this is for a lot of stores too. This isn't even electronic stores. It can be clothing stores as well. How many of you and your families do a lot more online shopping than you did even say 2 years ago? Okay, this is what they're competing against. This is what they're competing against. And I'm the same way too. Like the convenience of online shopping, it is pretty nice if you know exactly what you want. You don't have to worry about sizes or anything like that. You know what the product is. It's become a lot cheaper. TJ?
I guess I made a kind of a bad decision. I thought it was a good deal. A stock for $2.77.
Okay.
I can buy 400.
Yeah. What's the
It
share at
was
now?
a really, really old. It's at $2.40.
So it's only dropped a total of. So how much money is that?
It's $116.
Okay, but it hasn't. Now you bought in a stock that's low, so a stock can only bottom out so much, right? If you feel like there's a rebound in there, then that stock might come back and make you some money. But buying a stock, and we talked about this when we got to the stocks too. Try to find something where you might be getting it at the ground floor. If you do some research on it, and it seems like there's opportunity for that stock to go up, your greater chances that you're going to profit, and if you're going to lose because there's only so much room for it to go down. Imagine if you know about 400 shares of Best Buy. Right? How many shares of Best Buy did you buy?
I think I'm about 110.
110 shares?
Yeah.
So multiply that by 4. Yeah, you'd be losing over $2,000. So that's a low risk buy because the stock price is already down. So that's actually not that bad of a big of a deal, as you know, Noah's worked up over here about his Best Buy stock.
I had another
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
AMC. I've lost $242.40.
AMC is in the movie theaters?
Yes.
Okay, so what's AMC? What are movie theaters up against?
Like a red box.
Blue box.
Box, Netflix,
Like
Blue
on
box,
demand.
blue box, right?
online video streaming.
Like on demand is so much easier.
So
And it's expensive.
you can get, when movies come out new, as soon as they leave the theaters, they're almost immediately, you know, to be ordered, on demand. So even movie theaters have competition. What else is happening? You guys go to the movies a lot more often than I do. What's happening every time you go to the movie?
They're scamming you.
Expensive
$14 for a
Prices
hot
for
cold
movies go up.
small pop.
$6, and like, and that's when
And
you
they
got
try to
like
get
food,
4
and then
hours
like
for
on
it.
demand you can get like $6 for one move.
So when we went through and picked out our stocks, see why we wanted to spend some time investigating? Why this is important? Because what happens if this $10,000 I gave you was actually your own money right now? Would you be freaking out right now over the Best Buy purchase going? A little bit. You're like nervous now, and it's not even real money, right? Imagine if it was real money.
I'd be so sad right now if it was real money.
I'd be so
I'd be
happy.
Brennan.
I found out my dad is an investor. He's in an investment club.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does he like it? Does it go well?
Yeah, he's got like a bunch of Apple and stuff.
That's good. He doesn't have his own Krispy Kreme horror story, does he? Okay, no, that's just my dad. Okay, so we're gonna stop this. We're gonna come back Friday. Next Friday, again, we'll update. Go ahead and save this. Make sure you get this back in your OneDrive. Hopefully, you guys, as you're updating this today, you're updating it on the April 17th line. It looks like you were.
Was it yesterday that Mr.
So make sure that gets in your OneDrive. So for those of you that turned in your green presentation sheets, so I didn't take a look through those yet when I came in today, and a bunch of you just turned yours in. But what are some quick takeaways from presenting your Operation Fun Goal to your parents? How did that go?
Good.
They laughed.
How many they laughed?
Because she can't give up her Starbucks.
Okay, so that was one of your trade-off suggestions, was to give up
Yeah.
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
And what was your trade-off for you? What did you say you would agree to trade off?
I said I'd stop going out more.
Okay.
I like
And was
to-
mom receptive to that then?
Yeah.
Until you mentioned the Starbucks?
Yeah. And then she started laughing.
Okay. How many of you had more success presenting your goal than you thought you would have? Raise your hand.
Oh, yeah.
How many of your families are going to go through the fun goal now that you've done the presentation? Raise your hand. No?
You're already going for it.
Okay. Is anybody thinking about it? Families are thinking about it?
No.
Okay. I won't say who, but somebody earlier today talked about part of their fun goal was a vacation. And they talked about a cruise. And when we had originally brought it up, I asked you guys, what do you think your success rate is? And you guys were like, somebody told me today that they went in, and this was not something that was already being discussed, and they did their fun goal. They did the presentation. And Dad was so impressed, they are, in fact, now they're going to go through and they're going to start looking at a cruise vacation. And you got, yeah, just like Olivia getting the pen, right? Success story, okay? If you are well prepared and you have good arguments, and you can counter some of those arguments why you might not be able to do something, if you have a plan and how you can adjust your spending and saving, and you can make up the difference in money, then all of a sudden, as you analyze your own budget, your fun goals can come into focus a lot more. So now, we've got somebody in this house that's family's talking about a cruise vacation now that they weren't talking about before this presentation. Pretty sweet, right? You have to be rich, not if you adjust your spending. It's just adjusting, maybe it means giving up the Starbucks, right, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I went through it with my family, we didn't really, you went over, but we kind of, I told my parents about like the trade-off,
Mhm.
and I was like, would you rather like trade, like stop doing what you're doing and like help save for vacation? They kind of said no, they like keep on doing what they're doing.
Okay. And whose money is it?
I mean, it's theirs.
So, were they impressed with the proposal, though?
They said it was all right. I mean, they said I came in like, they said it was good.
Okay. So they said you were prepared.
Yeah.
That's good.
So we knew.
Did you get positive feedback about your presentation from your parents? Were they impressed?
No.
Saying no doesn't mean that they had to accept the fun goal, but were they impressed with your ability to plan ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She was impressed.
Wait.
Okay, so when I get a chance to go through the green sheet some more, we'll discuss some takeaways from that. Right now, out on Edmodo, you have a new note sheet. So let's open that up, get that downloaded to your computer. And we are introducing a new topic today. We're going to talk about cars, and specifically, we're going to be talking about automobile insurance. You just say, wow. Oh my. So again, you want to download your note sheet so you can work with it. Let me ask you a question to start too. What do you know about automobile insurance? What do we know?
It
Raise
costs so much.
your hands.
I believe if the car is somehow damaged, your insurance will help pay for it.
If you have insurance, it'll help pay for damage to your car. This is true.
Good to have it.
Why is it good to have it?
Because you like hit rear ending.
Yep.
And insurance will pay for it damage.
Okay. If you have insurance, it's going to cover damage to the car. What else, Jacob?
It's expensive.
It can be expensive.
Wait, doesn't it like depend on the type of car?
It can depend on the type of car. Cost. We'll talk about that a little bit. Cost of insurance can depend on a lot of factors. Definitely.
Doesn't it also depend on your age?
Good job. It can. Yes, that's a factor. Your age.
Your age.
Your age and gender. That's another factor.
Yeah.
See, it can. It can. What else? What else do you know about auto insurance? Logan.
Like if you're in like high school and you get a car, it depends on like your grades, how much it costs.
Good job. That's another good one. Students that get good grades get discounts on their auto insurance. Uh-huh. Morgan.
And like, do you have it like on different kinds of like auto things
You can have insurance on more things than just your automobile. Like you can buy insurance for a boat. Is that what you mean? Yep. There's different types of insurance for different types of
You
coverages.
have to pay it like once a month or like every day.
There are different ways you can pay your insurance. It can be paid monthly. You can pay it quarterly. You can pay it every 6 months.
Can't pay like every year.
Possibly.
Cause like.
I know I paid it every 6 months before. Currently, I pay it monthly.
So I think it'd be dumb to like pay it like every month because like let's say that like that month you don't get in a car accident. Well then it's like just money wasted.
But you can't stop and cancel your payments until you need it.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying like if we do it in like 6 months, then it's better covered.
But you're gonna pay for the next 6 months, not the past 6 months. So you're paying ahead.
Okay, yeah, but like let's say like you pay like a month ahead and
Mhm.
and like you don't get in a car accident.
Welcome to having insurance.
That's dumb, man.
Okay, so I'll give you 2 more here and then we're gonna start. No?
I was gonna ask, is there like a limit that you pay on your insurance?
A limit?
I mean, not like a limit, but like, so like, you have to stop at like, yeah.
Well, in regards to how big of a policy you wanna have, your policies are gonna be based on what your insurance company will offer you. We'll talk about that. Declan?
So like, if you were, like what Jacob said, paying for something, you
Yes.
get into an accident, is that like covering you for more, or?
You have paid your insurance in advance for the driving you will be doing if you're paying it monthly for the next month. If you get into an accident because you paid your insurance premiums, there's a term we're gonna talk about today, then you are covered. If you don't pay your insurance, you get in an accident, the insurance company's not gonna help you out, because you haven't paid them to help you out. Last one, Jaden.
Okay, so say my Ferrari gets hit by a semi
Yep.
and it gets totaled out.
Yep.
Does the insurance buy me a new one?
We're gonna talk about how that works, okay?
I forgot.
So, good questions, good comments. Let's talk about insurance. And the first thing that we are going to do is define the term risk. We're going to define the term risk. In regards to insurance, risk can refer to 2 different items. One, risk can be defined to say it is the uncertainty about a situation's outcome. The uncertainty about a situation's outcome. When we talked about spending plans and expenses, I gave you the example about what happens if I drive home. I don't know when I drive home today, right, that I'm not going to get into a car accident or all 4 of my tires aren't going to blow out. Could that happen? Let's take all 4 of my tires blowing out. Could that happen?
Yes.
What's the likelihood of that happening? All 4 of them. That's a pretty low risk item. Okay? But what if I say, well, I'm driving home today, I get into a car accident? Could that happen?
Yeah.
Is that more likely than all 4 of my tires blowing out?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a higher risk item. Insurance wants to prevent against risk, the uncertainty of a situation's outcome, these unpredictable events which can lead to financial loss. And insurance companies rate you as an individual driver based on your risk. What are you as a risk to them? So for example, you guys brought up some good examples. You can get discounts on your insurance as a high school student if you get good grades. Do you know why? Insurance companies have statistical data that tells them that students that get good grades tend to be better drivers. So because of that, they're going to put some faith in you and give you a better discount. Does that mean if you get good grades that you're a great driver?
No.
Not necessarily. Not for everybody, but statistically speaking, they can prove that that happens more often than not. Okay? You pay possibly higher rates as a teenage driver because you have less experience, and insurance companies don't know what kind of risk you are. So to protect themselves, they may charge you higher rates. Is that any fault to you? You can't have it that you're only 16, right, when you get your license in your first car? These things happen. Now, as you grow older, and you prove that you don't get in accidents and you don't get tickets, your risk probably diminishes in their eyes to you, or about you, I should say. Because you've proven you have a good driving record. No.
So for like nationwide, you know, commercial where it's like the guy and the girl in like a cafe. And
Yep.
The girl talks, says like how women aren't superior drivers and stuff. Now she got like a discount. So is that like what Jake would say? Like if you don't get like an accident, it's so long you like get discount.
Well, insurance company, for one, the longer you go without tickets and accidents, the better impact that's going to have on your rates. The commercial is actually a good commercial because it plays off of gender stereotypes. And the gender stereotype is actually that men think they're superior drivers to women. You guys have seen this commercial?
Oh, which one?
Where she gets the discount check, it's for nationwide.
With the dollar
And
and stuff?
they're in a cafe and
Oh,
she
yeah.
said, you know, didn't you say that men are superior drivers to women? And the guy said, yeah. Well, how come I got this discount for a good driving record? And it's basically indicating that I'm a good driver, I'm a woman. Did you get, do you get one of these? Yeah, and he's kind of put in his place about it. Those stereotypes exist too. And those stereotypes might make you think that, you know, rates should be impacted by that too. Look, the biggest things that are going to impact your rates that are going to define what kind of risk you are actually your driving history. And as you get older and you become a better driver, you're going to diminish you as a risk to your insurance company and you're going to get better rates. Okay, but there are other factors that go into play too. The kind of car you drive, somebody mentioned that. Guess what, you driving that Ferrari there, Jaden?
Yeah.
Your insurance is going to be more expensive than my Camry. Okay? They're saying that I'm less likely to be in an accident with my 4-cylinder Camry than you with that Ferrari that probably goes 0 to 100 in 4 seconds.
Real quick.
Okay? So, the term automobile insurance itself. Automobile insurance. It's an arrangement between you, the individual. You are the consumer, you are the purchaser. Automobile insurance is an agreement, an arrangement by you and the insurance company. They are ensuring that you, if you get into an accident, you buy insurance from them, that they will help minimize your financial loss because of the accident. It's there to prevent you from having all of the risk of driving and having to be financially responsible for an accident you may not even cause. It's providing, or it's taking the risk out of your hands and putting the risk in the hands of the insurance company. So you're going to hear that term a lot, risk. TJ,
Could that backfire?
how could it backfire? What are you asking, what could backfire?
If, well, they're obviously, you're putting money into them, they're
Mhm.
bringing their service into you.
Yep.
What if their services don't work?
What if you pay for insurance and all of a sudden they don't cover you? Is that what you mean? So, we're going to get to another term here. And let me wait and come back to it. That's in regards to your policy. We're going to talk about policy. Policy is the contract that you have with the insurance company. Part of what the policy does is tells you what they will cover you for and what they may not cover you for. So is that what you're getting at? So it's important for you to know, hey, what am I going to be covered for, right? To give you a good example, a lot of policies, insurance policies, whether it be medical, whether it be automobile, You know what's something they're not gonna cover you for? If you have a financial loss in relation to an activity that is considered a crime. Insurance company's not gonna pay for damages for you because you were doing something in the act of committing a crime. So that's in your policy. Mhm. Sure, if you're driving in your car, trying to escape from the cops, and you get in an accident, that's the reason why.
Like drunk driving.
Sure, that can be. Policy, it depends on what the policy tells you. Okay? Jade?
If you get in an accident and say you get like hurt and you get put in the hospital, does the person who caused it pay for the bill then too?
We're gonna talk about that and the types of insurance coverage that you have. We're getting there. So, purpose of the insurance. One, it's to help individuals limit financial loss when accidents occur. That's why we get insurance, because we want to limit the financial losses we have. There's where we are transferring the risk from us having to pay for that to the insurance company having to pay for that. We buy insurance and we hope we never have to use it. So Jacob, there goes back to your point about, well, it's not fair if I buy this and I never use it, right? Do you want to get into an automobile accident?
No.
Okay. So this is what we hope happens. We hope we give away money for protection that we never need. Because if we do need it, we don't want to be responsible for that financial risk. Automobile accidents can be expensive. Especially Jaden if he gets in an accident with his Ferrari. Okay? You gonna be able to afford that, Jaden?
I hope so.
You hope so, but you'd rather the insurance pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Which is why we buy the
Alright,
insurance.
so say what Jacob said, say if you were gonna get a new car, does the insurance transfer over?
Yes, you will transfer your policy over.
It's
As you
just
get,
the car gets paid, like.
that'll change your rates
Yeah.
based on what you have, what you drive. So, here's that term, policy. Insurance policy. What is it? It's a contract between you and the insurance company. It's gonna specify terms about what your insurance can and will do for you, what you're paying for. Your insurance policy will cover these items. Insurance policies will probably tell you what kind of exclusions exist, meaning what they're not going to cover. Paying for damages for you in a car accident involved in a crime would be an example. Your insurance policy may not cover that. It's the contract between you and the insurance company. And you gotta pay for that policy, Jacob. You gotta pay in advance. It would be great, right, if we could just buy insurance once we got into the accident?
Yeah.
Except for the insurance companies would lose money that way. Now, just a slide or two ago, what did I say? What was the purpose of an insurance company? Let me ask you legitimately, what do you think the purpose of an insurance company is?
So you don't have to use it?
Hang on a second, let's raise some hands. What's the Brennan, what's the
Make
purpose?
money.
To make money. The purpose of an insurance company. How many of you agree with Brennan? It's to make money. Raise your hand. How many of you disagree with Brennan? All right, half of your hands go up and half of you are probably typing. Anybody disagree with Brennan that insurance companies' primary responsibility is to make money?
So pretty much, you're paying them more than you're worth. Because like you're paying them like so much money.
Understand that an insurance company's job is to make money.
Yeah.
It's a business, right? They're not gonna be in business if they're not making money. They're not gonna be in business if we get to buy insurance when we get into an accident. I didn't need it until I got in the car accident yesterday, so can I get some coverage right now and then you guys can pay for this accident? And as soon as you pay for it, I'm gonna stop the insurance, because I'm not planning on getting in an accident anytime soon. Jacob, if somebody came to you and said, yeah, I didn't want your help until I needed it, so can I just get the short term and let you, pay the financial risk here? Can I let you pick up the tab on this and then we'll be good and I'll go about my merry way? Would you be good with that?
Well, I'm a helpful guy.
You're a
so-
helpful guy. Can I have your phone number? I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna get some baseball tickets later tonight. I need some help.
Let's do it.
And I'm not gonna take you to the game. I'm gonna go, and then I won't need your help anymore because I'll have gone to the game. So you gonna buy those tickets?
That's cold.
You're a helpful guy, Jacob.
If you have a souvenir, we're good.
We can discuss that. We can put that in the policy, possibly.
What did like you were like good enough with money?
Mhm.
Like in your bank account, like now we do like a jar thing.
You were saving money aside for those kind of
Yeah.
moments anyways. We're gonna get there, but really, what you need to know is that you are required by law to have some level of insurance. We haven't gotten that far yet. Let's talk about some terms here. Premium and deductible. These are two terms that will get discussed in your policy. I actually don't like insurance terminology, almost as much as I don't like medical terminology. The difference is I can pronounce the insurance terminology. Okay, right? Medical terminology would be better if it was just color coded. Okay, that'd be a lot easier for me. Insurance terminology, it's the same thing. Premium, for example. I never like the term premium. Premium is the fee you pay to have your insurance, and what Jacob doesn't want to pay right now. He doesn't think he should have to pay premiums for coverage, or until he at least needs it. Think of premiums as like a subscription to have insurance. It's your fee, it's your charge. It's what you pay so that you have insurance coverage. Okay, so if you pay your premiums, and you pay them on time, you're paying for coverage in advance, now you go and get in the accident because you paid your premiums, and an accident occurs that is legally covered by the policy, then the insurance company is gonna help pay for your loss.
I would want a policy like this. So like once I get like my first accident and then the company pays for it, and like from that point on, I'll be like a member of the insurance company.
You're a stockholder?
I don't know.
All you're gonna care about once you get in the accident is, are you being made financially whole? Are you being taken care of because now all of a sudden you have $10,000 worth of damage to your car that you don't have money saved up to pay for, but the insurance company is gonna give you and make sure you can use that to fix your car. That's what you're gonna care about. They're not gonna do that if you're not paying your premiums. Now, another term that maybe you have heard of before and maybe you don't know what it means is deductible. How many of you have heard that term before? Anybody know? You understand what deductible is? I got the definition up here. We say it's the amount paid by the policyholder, that'd be us, if we buy insurance, for the initial portion of loss before the insurance coverage begins. So here's the example for this. You guys buy this insurance policy, whether you like it or not. You buy this insurance policy, and you get into an accident. You're driving your car, Jaden hits you with his Ferrari, and he causes $10,000 worth of damage to your car. When you buy a policy, your insurance company is going to say, well, you're going to be responsible for a deductible. Let's say it's a $500 deductible. What that means is, even though Jaden hit me, or maybe I hit Jaden, would be a better way. My insurance company is going to say, you got to pay that first $500, and then we're going to pick up the bill for the rest. We have deductibles insurance policies, so we're not out there driving recklessly and thinking, well, the insurance is just going to pay for it all. Because if we just paid the premiums and then all of a sudden we could do whatever we want, we drove and we got in accidents, and I got insurance money for that, right? Well, would you be a smarter, safer driver if you knew you had to pay a portion of the accident and you had to pay that portion first before the insurance company helped you out? Would you be better about that? That's what the deductible's there for. You have to pay the initial portion of the loss before the insurance coverage begins. So if you get into an accident, you're the cause of the accident, and the damage is $500, and you have a $500 deductible, guess what? The insurance company's not going to give you one penny. Because you're going to be responsible for that first $500.
So are they picking up the damage on your car or the damage on both?
It just depends on who's at fault in the accident, what kind of insurance you have. But let's say I hit your Ferrari, Jaden. I've got insurance, but I've got a $500 deductible. My insurance is going to pay for your damage for sure. And then depending on the kind of coverage I have, will determine if it pays for mine. But either way, whether I have that or not, I'll have to pay the first $500. I have to pay the deductible first. No.
Alright, so it was like a couple of days ago, I don't know, maybe last week, I saw like this person like turn too tight and hit a car, but then they like drove away.
Ooh. What do we call that?
Hit and
We're
run.
going to talk about hit and run.
Yeah.
Okay? You
So-
saw him drive away?
Yeah.
Did you get a license plate?
Did you chase him?
You reported?
Dad, let's go.
So, which is dangerous, you actually shouldn't do that, but if you could get a license plate before the accident, that would be good. But, that's a crime too.
Like, so what happens to what if they catch the person?
The person, well, they're gonna probably pay for that. depending on the type of insurance you have, let's say, because that person currently drove off, the person that got hit, if they have the right kind of insurance coverage, they will have some of that taken care of after, unfortunately, after they have to pay their deductible. Okay, Lexi.
We got in an accident and it was like a custom Jeep and it was like the only one to do. It was a big Jeep and it hit us and then it took off and it was like nighttime. And the guy was really sketchy, like got out of his car and everything, but then he got in, said he was gonna pull around and drove away. And then we knew it was him and then we saw his car like at house with him. But my parents might have to go to like court and everything.
Yep, yep. That's gonna happen in any run, because it's now a crime, it's gotta be investigated, okay? These things are gonna happen, okay? We're not gonna be able to get into too much of this today, but let me explain what we're gonna talk about in regards to insurance and coverage. We have 4 different types we're gonna talk about. Liability is the first. This is required by law to have. When you turn 16 and you get a car, you have to have liability insurance. If you got pulled over without insurance, cop's gonna give you a ticket. You get into an accident, the accident's your fault, now you're gonna pay for it, but if you don't have liability insurance, you're gonna get a bigger ticket. Every state in the United States requires that a driver have a certain level of liability coverage. And liability coverage, bad news guys, it doesn't cover you, it covers who you were in an accident with.
Even if it's their fault?
If it's your fault. Okay?
But so like, what if like, let's say, you get in an accident, say, and like, a guy hits you, but like, he doesn't have liability insurance.
Now he's an uninsured motorist,
Yeah.
and depending on your insurance will determine what kind of help you might get. We're gonna break down all 4 of these next week and explain how these do or do not cover you. These will be the 4 types of insurance that we'll discuss. Liability, medical payment, uninsured or underinsured insurance, which is something you would buy to make sure that you are covered in case you get into an accident with somebody that doesn't have insurance. And we'll talk about physical damage insurance as well. The better, you get what you pay for. The more insurance that you have, the more coverage you have, the more you're gonna be taken care of, but it also costs you more money to have that coverage. If you're gonna drive around in that Lamborghini there, or that Ferrari, then you're not gonna want liability insurance. You're gonna want the big boy stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna wanna make sure you're covered. You right now are gonna wanna save this note sheet in your backpack or your OneDrive. Noah, question.
Okay, say 2 like young drivers that don't have any insurance, like both do something wrong at like an intersection,
Yep.
hit each other. Who's getting like the bigger ticket?
Well, they're gonna take care of their own damage, and when the cop comes and neither of them have insurance, they're both gonna get fined for driving without insurance. And then they're gonna have to go take care of their own stuff properly. Or, one takes the other to court. Either way, then you gotta pay that money. And if you're wrong, you just lost a lot of money. Okay,
So,
Say,
let's go back to her incident where the guy drove off.
yes.
So say you can tell the insurance company that I got hit, but he drove off, can't they choose like not to believe you? Like,
Well, this is why we call it
assume that you're
cops.
lying?
You would wanna call a cop in a statement like that, so there's a police report. You don't have a police report, you're gonna have a harder time proving that.
Yeah.
Because you know what the term is the insurance company's gonna wonder? Ever heard of the term fraud? Did you fake the accident? Fraud's illegal. You go to prison for fraud.
oh, having my neighborhood.
Yeah, you don't want a prison. Fraud is against the law. We'll talk about that next week too. Actually, when we get to hit them up. All right.
Okay.
So, you want to make sure you got that sheet in either your backpack or your OneDrive. You don't have any homework this weekend. We will talk about your green presentation sheets next week as well. You guys have any questions? Okay. If you have not gotten your green sheet to me, that needs to come in. One other item of review. Yesterday, how many of you completed the bonsai scenario?
Like, actually, like say 2000 or
You
like?
saved and you beat the simulator game. Okay. If you have not completed the game, that is a completion grade that you do have to complete. Okay, so if you have not yet,
For me, it
The reason why mine cost
listen up.
is. Put all the money in the top.
If you have not yet beaten the game, you have to beat the game. If If you fail it the first time, good news, you get to take it the second, right? If you fail it the 50th time, good news, you get to take it the 51st. Okay? That is an assignment. If you have not gotten that in yet, you're going to want to work on that as well. As challenging as it might be, make good financial spending and saving decisions.
She was $2 off.
Somebody was 58 cents off.
Oh, I'd be so
I
mad.
was so mad.
I got
was so
spot
mad.
on $2,000 straight.
Okay.
Yeah. You divided by money.
Soft, dude.
Yes. I can. Yep. Marissa, office. You gotta report to the office.